So this is the story of how I found myself in a secular Buddhist meditation hall on historically sacred ground in the Sangre Cristo mountain range of Crestone, Colorado, to make this vow, written by Buddhist teacher Chogyam Trungpa, and become a warrior for the human spirit. I cannot change the way the world is, but by opening to the world as it is, I may discover that gentleness, decency, and bravery are available not only to myself, but to all human beings. I assure you, my journey to this moment was not a crisis of faith, nor was it a midlife crisis as I approached my 25th class reunion. It was a choice to plant myself firmly in my vocation and to fight as warriors for the human spirit do, with insight and compassion as my weapons. For this to make sense, you should know a few things about me. I have been found by issues that compel me to act on behalf of something much larger than myself. I have been coached by mentors who have taught me how to learn over and over again. I have volunteered for causes as a way to satisfy that what more can I do itch in my life. And I have held professional employment that has allowed me to incorporate a life of service to the common good. And there's one more thing you should know. I'm a rather feisty feminist. I cannot ignore the injustices women face every day simply because we are women. I cannot deny that my own lived experiences as a woman have given me a taste of inequality, squelched potential, and lost opportunities. And as a woman, at times I struggle with self-doubt. I make harsh judgments about myself and my abilities. I get angry at the dismissal of my ideas by male colleagues, the comments about my feelings causing my reactions, the critiques of my hair or my body, my own experience of sexism, and the knowledge of my sisters all around the world who face every kind of horrible simply because they are women. That drives me. The drive comes from knowing that my humanity is caught up, is inextricably bound up in yours. To quote Archbishop Desmond Tutu, this reality is what helped me find my calling. And what does one do when you have a calling? This one signs up for a 10-month retreat and training series on how to become a warrior for the human spirit. I have long been a fan of Margaret Wheatley, a respected author and world-renowned speaker on leadership, complexity, and self-organizing systems. The chance to study with her was a bucket list item for me. So in October of 2017, I sent an email to Margaret Wheatley inquiring about the Warriors for the Human Spirit training. On November 30th, 2017, a personal email from Meg, I can call her Meg now because we're tight. She welcomed me to the program. Let me pause and say a word about being a warrior. This is not warriorship in the common sense. This warrior training is based in a Buddhist prophecy that says, when the people need protection, warriors arise. To quote Meg, the warriors are armed with only two weapons, compassion and insight. They are peaceful warriors, vowing never to use aggression or fear to accomplish their ends. The training was designed to give us confidence and discipline in 4 core areas: a stable mind, that's tricky, direct perception work, skillful means, and community building. Our days were heavily structured with meditation practice, meditation instruction, teachings from Meg, silent reflection, direct perception practices, Qigong classes, community building, and lots of organic food. We learned so much, but a few lessons stood out as infinitely and universally useful. So I'm going to share with you 4 practices that Warriors for the Human Spirit use to be of service. Practice number 1, our lineage reflection. Meg asked us to think about warriors in our own lives. Who experienced injustice and refused to yield? Whose shoulders are we standing on? I love this practice for 2 reasons. It reminds me I did not get to this moment alone. This is my great-grandmother and her sisters. I love this photo, in part because they were standing as the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers. It's clear where I come from. But also because it leaves me no doubt that they made their shoulders strong so I could be held up by their faith traditions, with their love of family, and their dedication to serving their neighbors. This is my mom. Go deeper. She's here, so blame her. And thank you, Emily, for the tissue. Mom made her shoulders strong as a single parent, starting college when I was in 2nd grade and completing her BA degree 10 years later at the end of my first year here at St. Ben's. She made her shoulders strong by persevering, by advocating for herself, and enduring incredible hardships and uncertainty, while also maintaining a faithfulness to goodness and love. So another one, this is my best friend Teresa. She's sitting next to Mom. I met her just over there in Aurora Hall 29 years ago. Ask her to tell you the Smoothie Girl story. She made her shoulders strong by courageously and bravely moving to Seattle just a month ago, after 25 years in a job that she loved, in order to get a fresh start on a dream that wouldn't leave her alone. She made her shoulders strong through 29 years, hopefully and counting, of friendship that has been sustaining, indeed life-saving. So, whose shoulders do you stand on? The second reason I love this lesson is because I also have shoulders. The lesson of lineage is a reminder that I need to make my shoulders strong enough for someone to stand on. The lineage does not stop with me. Because of my privilege, I have a responsibility to those who will come behind me. If I am who I say I am, I have an obligation to extend my hand, to pull them in, to include them, and to serve them. So how are you preparing your shoulders for your children, your loved ones, your communities? How are you making your shoulders strong? I encourage you to use this practice as you think about St. Ben's this weekend. Yes, we all worked very hard to complete our degrees. Yes, we took out loans and we made financial sacrifices to be here. Yes, we have faced all the things that life has thrown at us. And yes, we do hard things every day. But we did not, and we do not, do any of that alone. So whose shoulders are you standing on? And who might stand on your shoulders one day? Practice number 2, Tonglen. Warriors for the human spirit are bound to get tired and stuck from time to time as we use so much compassion and insight to be of service. Tonglen is a tool and a practice to help create a sense of spaciousness and a special kind of unstuckness in our most pain-filled or dark moments. As a woman, I have come to rely on Tonglen as a practice that helps me manage the almost chronic sense of being overwhelmed by work, by dirt in my house, by cooking, driving, scheduling. Even resting sometimes feels like a task on my to-do list. This practice is especially powerful for combating our really dark days, our depression, and our hopelessness. Here's how it works. Name a feeling, preferably a negative, painful feeling that you are feeling right now or have felt recently. Really identify it. Sit with it just a moment. Name it. Now, imagine who else could be feeling exactly what you're feeling. Where are they in the world? What happened to bring them to that feeling? Can you see them? Now take a breath in. Slowly breathe in their pain, their fear, their grief, or whatever feeling you named, and share with them. Now breathe out. Offer a wish that they can feel joy or be free from pain and suffering. Pema Chodron, a great Buddhist teacher, says of Tonglen in her book, When Things Fall Apart, Tonglen is a practice of creating space. It's a practice that allows people to feel less burdened and less cramped. It's a practice that shows us how to love without conditions. It is also very counterintuitive. Who wants to take in pain and suffering of others? But this practice works. It works both on those we practice it on and also for ourselves. Why should I think that my pain or suffering are any greater or more important than yours? Tonglen reminds me I am connected to something greater than myself. Particular favorite practice now is how to be less annoyed. I learned this one just a couple of months ago. Meg strategically called it an opportunity to change your mind. She used a helpful story to illustrate the practice. A Buddhist teacher caught himself complaining about the loud party that was disturbing his meditation. And then he had this insight. The sound is just the sound. It is me who is going out to annoy it. If I leave the sound alone, it won't annoy me. It's just doing what sound does. So if I don't go out to bother the sound, it's not going to bother me. That sounds pretty simple, right? I don't know about you, but I'm annoyed about 600 times a day. People who drive too fast, people who drive too slow, people who laugh too loud, funny smells, rescheduling meetings, robocalls, and people who crinkle cellophane wrappers in the movie theater. I can be very clear and very specific about the things that annoy me. So the practice is this. Choose just one thing, one little thing that annoys you. Start small. It's practice after all. Maybe it's a smell or a type of noise. Then intentionally withdraw your attention from that thing and place it on something else. Keep doing this and take note of when you have actually stopped feeling annoyed. You might not notice much right away, at least that was my experience. It is practice, and we are very well conditioned to be annoyed. So this practice is simple in so many ways, but one of my key insights from warrior training is that the simpler the lesson, the harder it's going to be to learn. And certainly practice until we get a habit out of it. So the secret sauce for this practice is this. It is understanding that feeling annoyed is a choice. And since it's a choice, I don't have to make it. I don't have to go there. Truth be told, I'm still practicing this one a lot. Practice 4 is about choice. For warriors of the human spirit, choice is a profound and powerful practice. When you woke up this morning, who did you choose to be? Is she serving you well? Is she kind to you? When you sit down for a difficult conversation with a colleague or your child, who do you choose to be? Is she decent, kind, and brave? When you hide your light under a bushel basket, who are you choosing to be? Is she seeking safety or comfort? When you share your Me Too story or listen to your sister's Me Too stories, who do you choose to be? When you go to church, synagogue, mosque, or any holy place, who do you choose to be? Bennies, you get to choose who you are and how you show up. If at any time your choice does not serve you or allow you to be your best self, simply come back again and make a different choice. Your greatest power is your power to choose. So those are the lessons I offer each of you today. Think about strong shoulders to remind you of your worthiness and your strength. Use Tonglen when you feel stuck and can't see what to do next. Practice removing your attention from what annoys you, and practice loving kindness toward yourself when that doesn't work. And make your choices intentionally. Choose who you want to be in every moment of every day. So that is the beginning of my story of becoming a warrior for the human spirit. And as a woman in the world today, in light of the challenges we face with a climate in crisis, basic civility to each other a question, and the relentless ways we divide ourselves from each other, sexism, racism, classism, ableism, religion, politics, being a warrior for the human spirit is the right choice and the right path for me. In fact, I would say it's a very Benny-inspired choice. You see, in my role here at St. Ben's, I often speak of the promise St. Ben's made to us as students, as women, and as scholars. When we were accepted as students, this institution recognized something great, something worthy, something that shines in each of us. You might not know it or feel it, but in so many of you, I see the qualities of warriors for the human spirit. I see your compassion for each other. I see your wisdom and your insight into all manner of difficult and challenging work. I see your decency when you confront injustice. I see your gentleness when you step into leadership, when you speak truth to power, when you stand firm in your convictions. And I see you when you can't do any of those things because of your own unspeakable pain or grief. Even then, your light is worthy, and your light does not shine alone. We are together. You should know that in my job, I breathe in the heartaches, the dark days that come and always go again, the pain, the suffering, the injustices that all 25,106 of us Bennies face. And I breathe out space, a moment of joy, and a prayer from the ear of my heart that you may know your worth, know your power, and feel peace. So let us go very well into the rest of this reunion weekend. Let us go with courage, gentleness, and kindness. Knowing, as Sojourner Truth wrote, life is a hard battle anyway. If we laugh and sing a little as we fight the good fight for freedom, it makes it all go easier. I will not allow my life's light be determined by the darkness around me. Thank you.